We're here in Havana, Cuba, on one of our trips that we take for visitors to come from the United States to Cuba for people-to-people exchange. Those monies go to the Tree Institute, and the money for the Tree Institute is spent on our three missions, which is medicinal research on natural plant materials, and also sustainability, urban design and architecture, and the third is, of course, saving species and the environment.
We want to work with botanic gardens, like the one in Cienfuegos, where we know the garden very well, but we'd also like to work with the Natural History Museum here in Havana itself. It's a museum that has good scientists, it's a museum that has some very interesting artifacts, but it needs help. It needs some input from creative and talented people, both within Cuba and outside of Cuba.
I was very honored to be invited by the Tree Institute to come to Cuba to actually get involved possibly in some activities in this beautiful country related to bioexploration. We help many developing countries to discover and develop botanicals, which is the extracts from plants to benefit human health and to foster the economic development in many countries. We just visited a wonderful institution, the MATANZAS pharmacy, about 100 years old, which contained, from what I understand, thousands of rare recipes. It accumulated herbal prescriptions and prescriptions for many other medications, which have not really been ever explored by modern science.
I've just seen the Matanzas pharmacy and I'm overwhelmed with the quality and extent of the information that's contained there. And it's very clear that this is something that we need to make available to the world. The detail of the information and the potential uses for them in the future will serve not only the people of Cuba.
Because we really believe that plants which grow in Cuba, about 12,000 species, out of which 3,000 are endemic, still may contain yet undiscovered treasures, undiscovered pharmaceuticals, which can truly benefit human health.
That's what this is all about, is making sure that we have the information to pass down through future generations.
The Tree Institute has a very wide scope, and I hope we can learn from them, and I also hope they can learn from the Cuban experience.
And on behalf of all the workers of the museum, I remember that when I told them yesterday that we were going to welcome you, they were all very happy, and they say, finally.
For the past few days, we've been making a dream come true, a dream we've had for many years, which is to start the process of digitizing all the information contained in the prescription books. This pharmacy museum kept track of everything elaborated here, literal transcriptions of formulas which doctors from all over town sent to make here.
This work could not be undertaken by a Cuban institution because sadly they lacked the funds for it. It was a good opportunity for me as a person and as a photographer because I'm documenting part of my culture, of my country. This is one of the most prestigious pharmacies in Cuba.
There are 55 books. We were able to photograph 51. 4 of them are not currently available. Either they're being restored or they're in need of urgent restoration and we can't use them. But 52 books, 700 pages each book, and from 14 to 16 formulas per page. It covers the period of 1880 to 1964.
Inventory work is really fascinating. It requires a lot of dedication and attention to detail. Even a small detail like a signature can be revealing.
We brought with us enough equipment to set up 4 different copy stations, and that way it would be replicable or repeatable between stations.
We had to use direct lighting. Natural light changed a lot in the rooms we were working due to the alternation between sun and clouds. So thanks to the collaboration with the Tree Institute, we use continuous lighting. We would have not achieved the required quality without that.
So in addition to the formulas, which have a lot of value in their information themselves because they have the plants and the chemicals that are needed for the prescriptions, we are also seeing the history of the development of not only technology, but also for the pharmaceutical industry.
Es algo muy importante para los
It's very important for the studies of natural medicine, not only in Cuba, but anywhere in the world.
Bueno, con la documentación de los recetarios, no todos estaban en buenas condiciones, tenían mucha humedad.
Not all the books were in good conditions. They had a lot of humidity and some were in really bad shape.
Teníamos que manipular.
We had to manipulate them with care so that they wouldn't deteriorate any further.
Cuidadosa, ¿no? Para que no se deterioraran más de lo que estaban.
Fatigue. And many of us have swollen ankles now for 4 days from standing 10 hours a day photographing the books. So it's been a lot of hard work, but we set the goal of finishing it, and by working 10 hours a day, we were able to do it.
La directora Marcia me pudo transmitir toda esa pasión que
Director Marcia managed to impregnate us with her passion for the museum, and that energy filled me with a sense of belonging.
de pertenencia, ¿no?
Yo creo que hay que hablar mucho del entusiasmo que se nos inyectó.
We must talk about the enthusiasm injected to us when we arrived. The love of the staff made that week of working more than 8 hours a day go by really fast.
8 horas de trabajo cada día.
And while this vast amount of work, this vast body of work is very important, equally important, I believe, is the people-to-people exchange that we've had working side by side with the Cuban people from the local area. We team and bond together to be able to do this wonderful work.